those signature picks of his.
And talking about Yawi and his signature picks, that was the official team lineup for Liquid Aura. On the other side, we have the main five, so no changes whatsoever for both of these teams. So much highlight on the jungler, so much highlight on the roam. But honestly, for me, an outstanding thing here is actually the reason why we'll get to it in just a moment, because we do want to welcome these two teams on to the stage, and it's a different color for one of these teams.
The two blues make their way on stage. One pouncing, the other charging. The Tigers pounce, and the Cavalry. And gentlemen, welcome Team Liquid Aura and EVOS Glory!
Both of these teams will be going all the way. With the coaches behind them, with the minds behind them, they will be looking for yet another win in order to continue their playoff run and eventually that ticket to MSC.
Standing tall right here in front of their supporters has to be a great moment. For the side of EVOS in particular, the fans are absolutely insane. We saw a bit of a dip in the fire for EVOS Glory, but now look at, if you can see in the stage, it's amazing. But on the other side for Liquid, you can feel the same kind of energy, and you already know it's about to be a serious match. As our Marshal Dainang lets the coach have the first point of contact.
I hope you guys get to see the hype here at the venue, especially for the EVOS fans in the building. And this is one of the reasons why at the beginning of the playoffs, you guys caught it, right? They were noted as the people's champions, right? Both RRQ as well as EVOS, and this is exactly why the support that they have rallied behind them up until this point, up until MPL ID Season 13 has been immaculate. But let's take a look at this video.
Walaupun gugun objektif, ya kita bakal nyari inilah objektif lain. Kalau misalnya ada yang dapat objektif. Kalau gugun masih konsisten lah deh performanya. Dari awal MPL sampai MP tetap kelihatan yang paling objektif deh. Mikirnya tetap harus ngalahin gugunnya sih. Soalnya kita bakal cari titik lemahnya gugun lah pasti.
Sama yang di lot pertama menurut gua kelamaan tadi. Iya, maksudnya karena udah di call curangin, harusnya lu langsung jalan juga.
Jago sih termasuk, soalnya dia dari week 3 kan, bisa banyak hero juga lah. Cuman belum full mekanik dia lah, mungkin dia masih kayak ada gugup gitu lah. Perbedaan kita mungkin, kalau dia tuh tipenya tipe yang eksekusi ya, tipe yang finishing. Kalau aku kan tipenya kayak yang di war di turtle lah. Soalnya kita sesama jungler tuh pasti sama-sama dipegang. Tinggal gimana cara kita nge-dodge skill yang mau megangin kita, tinggal gimana cara ngindarinnya itu sih.
Kalau misalnya butuh mau ngambil tower, ingat posisi kalian, bukan mapnya mana. Kalau butuh mau farming, atau misalnya Google mau rusuh, kalian udah siap-siap semuanya ya.
Jauh udah belajar kayak ngapain kalau objektif di turtle gitu di lord. Sebagai jungler lu harus ngomong karena lu yang bakal decide.
Purify berhasil diselamatkan seperawat, meminta pertolongan kepada kawanannya, tapi para pasukan dari tim Aura mereka benar-benar melakukan distraction dan bakal lihat di depan sini the power of Redemption. Kokon berhasil mendapatkan Redemption, press for Fnatic.
Pesan buat anak APL sih, ya jangan mikirin overthinking segala macam, kayak fokus turnamen aja boy, kayak biasa udah, kayak at least all out, do the best.
Berhasil menyelamatkan semua, berhasil menemukan Superout Supriyadi, tapi di balik itu para pasukan dari tim Anak Dewa mereka mau a press one from Anapel. Udah bukan 3 point lagi kali ini Anapel.
Pesan buat Anapel, kasih yang seru-seru aja.
Buat gugun hati-hatilah di playoff, sama hati-hati di jalan ke playoff.
of the rookie junglers. I mean, I can't even bring up my topic at this point, right? You guys get a chance to peek into the support. Is that a tiger?
It's a tiger. It's
That's
a humanoid.
That's a tiger.
It's a tiger wearing an EVOS jersey, battle scarred.
And that's poetic. That's exactly what the journey of EVOS was like this season, right? Earlier on, they were at a minus. At a certain point, they
0-4.
completely revamped their roster, bringing in EVOS Holy to represent them. And then they started to find more wins. We talked about EXP laners in the previous matchup, but for this particular matchup, we've got to highlight the roamers, and we get to see a little bit of a comparison between the regions here, between NACT, MPLPH, as well as Indo.
Funny enough, we haven't really seen a lot of Kajas as much as we would expect, especially towards the end, especially when the low Yis and the chips have been kind of used a bit less. But the Minotaur, I think for any kind of composition, the Minotaur could be a flexible option. It all comes down to how you can round it off, because we talked about this earlier. If you want a utility roamer, that's fine. But if you don't have a front line to take the front line spot, it's going to be difficult. I think Minotaur could be a solution, especially for both these teams with a lot of dive attempts with a very solid gold laner in their own respective teams. I think that could be something that teams can try and use, but of course it all depends on the synergy with the rest of the picks of the heroes.
I think as well, something we need to note is the fact that for EVO's glory, they need to try to use the blueprint that's been used against Liquid Aura in the regular season. The blueprint that was used mostly by Bigatron Alpha. Take away Kabuki. That's the main thing, right? Because for Yaoi, yes,
Like
you want to respect...
Kabuki, literally?
No, I mean his heroes.
Oh.
Because Kabuki, all the way from week
I
1
think that's illegal.
to like week 9, he's had the same heroes, Aeterna. It's been Carry, it's been Claude, and then Harith Roger. Roger a bit more 50-50, Harith insta-ban usually, so Carry Claude. You take one, you ban one. That's been the key for Bigatron Alpha. And then the other, you can just go for either denying it by picking up a Grok yourself, or yeah, again, you can also just ban it. So there are so many ways that has been shown in the regular season to outdraft Liquid Aura.
All right, so we'll have to see what kind of options they explore right here. Like you mentioned, it has been, to be fair though, it has been 2 weeks, right? There's a lot of time. We saw that RRQ out of nowhere improve so much. Who's to say that for Liquid Aura, Kabuki hasn't picked up yet another pocket pick, signature pick that he can use to really get his team an edge in this matchup.
I mean, technically, you can put Roger in one of his heroes, right? Because Kabuki was able to find a Maniac on the Roger in the regular season. So we'll see what happens here. No respect in that particular area, aside from the Moskov and the Harith, ladies and gentlemen, as we get into the drafting phase of game number 1 presented to you by the official tournament smartphone Samsung Galaxy. We can see that Liquid bans out the Ling, the X-Borg, as well as the Alpha. So that much is already telling of what Annabelle can do, that it warrants a first phase ban. That is extremely rare to see an Alpha.
It really hasn't been an insane, crazy pick, but especially for EVOS, it's just a different story. But with the Baksha picked up so early on right here, Lo Yi Yu Song for the side of EVOS, it's already more global presence, but the chip is left open. TLID can go for it if they really want to.
Something about this chip though is the fact that they don't care for it. Okay, Team Liquid Aura, they decided to go for the Grok and lying on their comfort picks here in the first game of their playoffs run.
And who's to say that comfort picks can't work for Team Liquid? They want to go for this. So far, it seems a bit more of a pick-off composition by all means. There's that combo, right? The Baksha Shield Unity into a long-distance skill shot that has to be aimed properly. For EVOS, it's more of a rounded front-to-back, like team fight AoE composition. Get to see how it goes, because right now, both gold laners hasn't really been shown just yet.
Okay, for EVOS, they go for the Akai. And remember, this Akai can be flexed into the roam, into the EXP specifically for EVOS, because Fluffy can utilize this Akai pick in the EXP lane, but it can still also stay in the jungle. So there's this layer of flexibility that, of course, Team Liquid need to kind of unpack and unravel. So going into the second phase, what do you think will be the priority in terms of bans?
I thought for sure gold laners, but with both teams not having gold laners, they might really just try and target the other possibilities. Jungles technically is up there, unless of course Team Liquid or Aura are considering, whoa, there might be a bit of a flex. But for EVOS, knowing that they have the first pick after this, they're gonna go and start banning out some gold laners here and try and make sure that they do have a winning matchup in the gold lane.
Now, that was one of the keys to victory, right? The thing that Miracle mentioned earlier on, that blueprint that they're starting to follow up on. There you go, Natan, Claude, Moskov, and the Harith. That's 4 gold lane bans taken away from the side of Team Liquid. Team Liquid, they also understand the importance of Dreams. They take away his Kaja, fearing that they will look for a pick-off play, especially with the Luo Yi already in the composition that EVOS have brought.
They might be thinking of trying to, instead of going against a Kaja, they might prefer going up against something like a Franco, right? With the Grok already in their hands, Team Liquid can just deny the Iron Hook again and again. And by all means, if the Franco is setting up for a play, oh, never mind. I thought the Novaria can expose him and deny that. With the Franco banned away. Is this hinting at an assassin pick, right? With 2 suppressions banned out already for Team Liquid.
Yeah, I mean, true. Pickoffs happen. The Franco, we know how good Dreams is on the Franco. We don't even need to talk about that. We don't even need to explain it. But for EVOS, they have forced Liquid on that carry. The pick that we said not to give Kabuki. But it's good for EVO's glory. Why? Because they set out a winning matchup with the Roger. And if we see the pattern of today, of MPL Season 13 playoffs, day number 1, based on Geek versus RQ. If you hold the early game, you hold a massive advantage. That's where the value is at. Early game dominance. TL, they're gonna have to wait a bit longer. For the Novaria and the carry.
Well, we see the explanation though, the Benedetta coming in, especially for Oran, that's a very active hero that wants to be mobile, does not want to be suppressed by the Kaja or the Franco right here. So they seem to have a front line, good long distance, and also good dives towards the back line. So a lot more dynamic approaches available. Whereas for EVOS, they have these big ultimates they can use to go for neutral objective contest. So to add to this, we really want to get some more card control, some more tankiness maybe, or more lockdown. That's the Tigreal for Dreams. Not a strange sight at all.
Of course, right? Coming into this, we were actually talking about it backstage that Tigreal would be a big contested hero between Yaoi as well as Dreams. We should have seen it coming. So these are 2 very highly explosive roamers that both of these teams have opted for. And if we take a look at this, early and mid goes for TL, late stage for EVOS. Team coordination, it looks like it is quite equal, quite fair. What are we to expect in this match?
I expect Team Liquid to be a bit more aggressive, right? Until EVOS can kind of stabilize, and then they can try and be creative with the Luo Yi. I think the diversion becomes, again, a big factor right here, and how well EVOS can play around it will decide how much of an advantage they can have against Team Liquid right here, especially later on when they want to go for these neutral objectives, and they can be sneaky about it, even though they do have all these card control tools like the Black Dragon form and the heavy spin.
And now the Battle of the Blues commences, ladies and gentlemen, as we get to game number 1 in this best of 5 between Team Liquid as well as EVOS
Glory.
You have to say it like that.
You really do after Ranger Amas, but momentum, very important as well. Here at night, today in the Jakarta International Velodrome, it's a full house once again for our second match.
Everyone's ready for some Mobile Legends action. I mean, Yeheskel going with the Purify here. Quite the intelligent move. Allows him to be a bit more aggressive, to move forward and not just stay in the back due to the fear of being engaged randomly by that Tigreal. But look at Dreams, he's going tenacity with the extra vitality. He wants to be the main frontline right here and maybe allow Annabelle to save his heavy spin to use for big pickups or big team fights instead of just using it to get out when he is the main frontline being bursted down.
Wait a second. Okay. You see... Okay, who got that?
Annabelle.
There you go. Annabelle with a little bit of an advantage here in the first few minutes of the game, ladies and gentlemen. But it looks like up until this point, there have been no trades. It's exciting to see that both of these teams, they're relying on that level 4 power spike, right? Yaoi's still level 2. We can see Dreams as well, unable to make that big play from happening. One of the main differences is, of course, with the Luo Yi, Klokken has a little bit more to say in terms of that damage, but it looks like it's TL that's pressuring EVOS here in the top lane. Klokken's on the way, but no engagement just yet. They're both playing objectively here.
I'm surprised that Team Liquid are the ones aggressing to try and first go for this neutral objective, because they know that EVOs are the ones who have the big tools. Right now it gets reset, and I think EVOs are going to try and make it difficult unless Team Liquid can go for a pickoff.
Shield Unity instantly with the barrier too. Dream's still able to escape. Iran gets a good eye for a nice. Stun him up. Not a final blow over to the turtle. It's going to be a petrified. It'll stun Gugun, but he still gets it anyways. Meanwhile, on the back, it's a kill traded in. Both junglers taken down, but Liquid secure the turtle.
All right, Klokken gonna use that diversion, but he doesn't commit onto it. So that's a 1-for-1 trade. TLID still gonna be able to get that neutral objective. However, they were able to trade it back. In this engage, who has the better late game? And if they keep trading like this, who is it worth it for?
I must say, with a Novaria and a carry, Team Liquid I think has the significantly stronger late game. But it comes down to the neutral objectives. That's where EVOs have, have an advantage. But we are at odds right here. Unfortunately, we're on the wrong side.
We got a battle.
We're getting called out as well from the Indonesian desk.
What's funny is they're sitting on the Liquid side. We're sitting on the EVO side.
Wrong
so it's
territory.
the opposite sides. But it's okay. You know, it's always fun to have these little matches.
Well, back to the point here, if EVOs can force Liquid into a big proper fight without Liquid setting up, poking them down, then maybe they can have a bit more of an advantage. But considering how Liquid have been playing, yeah, they're going to go for something guaranteed only. So Ron right here goes for a 1v1 play.
And wins it hard. Iran very, very low. Annabelle going to look for the flank. Iran with the final blow into the back, finding the final blow onto the XP creep to get out with those dashes, clean maneuvers.
So such good foresight, right? Realizing that he was low, he shouldn't have seen that diversion play coming, but still able to get out of that sticky situation. That trade doesn't pull off in for EVOS. And it looks like up until this point, it's still a gold lead for Liquid Aura.
I think a big significant lead for Team Liquid is the fact that they can pick and choose what kind of engagement. They have good disengage, they have card control immunity in Yaoi because of the Grog's passive. So they do have the mobility as well for Iran to go and pull apart EVO's this team fight composition. There's diversion though.
Shield Unity used up. Black Dragon form now with a heavy spin too, and it's going to be Klokken who secures it as Annabelle pins 2 members down. Yaoi able to flicker out, but Gugu not so much. Final blow! Aran in the midst of it all finds a good choke point. Able to dodge away from that skill one of Fluffy. The shot tanked up by Brands.
Immaculate 1-for-2 trade. Klokken gonna be able to help EVOS out just a bit with the fact that he was able to get that down, right? That turtle falls for them. Both of the retribution failed, both of these junglers. And yet, with that particular movement coming through, they're able to kind of equalize here. Klokken though.
Cheeky diversion into like a pounce. Brand strikes back.
See, the funny thing is, after everything we've seen from EVO's Glory, a lot of people would say, oh, wait a minute, this 1v1.
Oh, beautiful eye for an eye into the final blow. The 2 XP laners just trading back and forth.
But back to that point, right? If you talked about pillars in EVOs, most people would think about Dreams. Most people would think about maybe even Fluffy at some point, right? Brands, or even Annabelle. But Klokken has always been so good at creating the foundation for the rest of the teammates' success. And we see that happening with him being put on something like the Luoyi that is a little bit more macro-centric and macro-heavy. He's able to dictate a lot of these particular team fights. And tempo, there you go!
An implosion straight on Yawi and Kabuki. No Purify for Kabuki. Yawi is holding on now, puts the barrier down. Not gonna go just yet. Now as Gugun puts in some damage on the clock, who doesn't have a flicker, and it's gonna be enough for the Poison to take him out. Meanwhile, Brands with Lycan form, trying to get rid of Gugun, forced to use a Purify, and Dreams tanks up a shot. Very risky. Around in the back line, now jumping onto Brands. Finding the final dash to pick up the killing spree. Fast tempo, Gugun. Shield Unity, locking him down into the Phantom Slash and into a double kill for Aran.
That's the mobility advantage here for Team Liquid. Really traded away by Fluffy, but this is what you can expect. The movement speed advantage, the slows coming in from your hair skill as well. Team Liquid, if they want to fight, they can find a fight. If they don't want to, then they can avoid it. They have Purifiers on the core members as well. And in a drawn-out fight that's going back and forth, they have a lot more spammable skills. Even though they did not have Kabuki in that fight on the bottom side, they were able to slowly but surely wear down the HP bars of EVOS and take them out. So for EVOS, they gotta really dig deep, dig down on those neutral objective takes and try and get something of a combo. Because otherwise, you're gonna get poked down, you're gonna get low, and Aran is gonna swoop in to try and seal the deal for his team.
And the thing is, it's not like the EVOS are playing towards the tempo of Team Liquid, right? They're looking for opportunities, but it keeps failing them, right? We saw the Fluffy play with the diversion in the bottom side, but still unable to find success. So what's the idea now? What do EVOS need to look for specifically?
Probably a bit of a combo, and if they can really try and shut down Gugun here, it's going to be so valuable to their game plan, right? The neutral objective-centric style. The thing is, Gugun is also so tanky. People kind of forgot how tanky the Baksha is. It's part of the reason why the Baksha was so meta back then. So if they're trying to go for the frontliners, they're too tanky. Already with the blade armor as well. If they try and go for the jungler, the roamer and the EXP lane, they're also very slippery. So they can't really get a decisive engage. Look at the in-game equipment right here. Needed for Gugun. He can stay on the map indefinitely again and again. And even if there's some damage traded back by EVOS, he can just stay, wait a bit, and make sure that he's always in the picture for a neutral objective contest.
But what's good for EVOS now is technically Brands is not too far behind, right? He's trying to level the lead that Kabuki has brought in. 2 items on both of them. Both of them are actually not at their power spikes just yet, so there is still opportunity in for EVOS. And like you mentioned, Arashi, that combo that needs to happen.
If you look at the item builds, at least for Brands, he's actually going with a lot more attack speed than I would expect. So he's going for, big play for EVOS though.
Wow, flickering potion only onto Gugun though now. Around the back line, 3-man Petrify right into the Astral Spear as Gugun is able to escape right now. And the eye for an eye gets used up by Aran, baiting Brands in with the Lycan Pounce. Yawi, so holding on the wild charge, finds it onto Brands. Shot down and Yehezkiel picks up the kill. Fluffy goes to the back with the Petrify and the Furious Die, but it doesn't connect as a diversion from EVO's Glory will only be used defensively to get them back to base.
Did you see the layering of skills? Arashi, break that down because that was beautiful to watch.
Ooh, and again, wow! He gets taken out by, was that the lethal ignition? Oh, Yawi, taken out the tail end. But man, the layering again of the spells, using it so efficiently for Team Liquid, they don't overreact. Even though we talked about this, Gugun getting dove on, getting focused down, he has the tank, the physical defense, and he knows that Clockun wants to save some spells, so he won't be completely nuked down by magic damage. So Team Liquid immediately counter-engage, and Aran was able to get a massive play right there, out-damaging Clockun in that team fight. That was insane.
It was so clean. The synergy was there. Again, like you mentioned, the layering of skills. And now they have the space, they have the tempo. The Lord is still marching in the bottom side. Meanwhile, this mid lane is crashing. Meanwhile, the top lane is crashing. Even the lane pushes are as well layered by Team Liquid here. And it's propelling them to a 6K gold lead. And earlier on, that gold gap that 2K gold gap maybe still can be turned around, but the fact that Brands is on a hero like the Roger that needs to go for that snowball, it's a little bit more difficult for EVOS to come back.
Exactly. All they have right now is combos, but looking at how Team Liquid is playing, how do you even find a combo right here? I haven't seen the Purifies used by Team Liquid. It hasn't been forced out of them so far. The positioning of Eheskiel and Kabuki have also been so good. And every single one of them are just so good at just taking away your attention so that EVOS can't really go for a proper fight because they're just constantly worried. When they're going for Eheskiel, they're concerned about Oran. When they're going for Oran, they're concerned about Kabuki. And that just makes it so difficult. And if they just wait around like this, we're already seeing Eheskiel's damage ramp up only after the addition of the Lightning Truncheon.
Look at that full damage build. Already to a BOD, he's on the way.
Oh man.
2,000 gold lead too between the junglers. So you can imagine how much tankier Baxia Gugun is over Annabelle.
And look at the items as well. Fluffy went for the Antique Cuirass. So he'll be able to 1v1 against Gugun and Aran better. But this means that in a proper team fight, Kabuki is gonna absolutely shred him down. He might even get taken out before he lands on Black Dragon form. I thought that diversion was gonna be used, but they didn't take it.
And it's also a late game build, it seems, from Brand. So he's going for the Corrosion Scythe, 3 attack speed items. An interesting choice for this game.
He wasn't itemizing for the mobility, the burst damage. He's trying to match Kabuki in damage output and maybe rely on a bit of that built-in tankiness instead to really gain some value from this Roger pick. But as it is right now, they're just getting poked down again and again. And the fact that Brands went for this build means he's going to be that much more unsustainable. And in the full-on all-out fight, Kabuki even respected EVOS and he went with the Firmness Tenacity combo. So he is still surprisingly tankier than you would expect.
And by the way, Gugun is level 14 compared to Annabelle at level 12. So even if they want to go for the contest, they need to figure out a way of either eliminating Gugun from this entire Lord fight or displacing him somehow. But even that will not be easy with the cover coming in from Yawi over and over and over again. Not to mention Eheskiel, who has been that person to open up the vision, open up the map. And you can see EVOS, they might not want to commit onto this. However, they do have Clockgun with the diversion. Can definitely bring back Brands into this team fight. Let's see.
Oran, eye for an eye, actually cancels out the ability. Implosion Flicker only onto Oran. That's a Petrifying the Fury's dive used up as well. A big shutdown claimed by EVOS Glory as they look for more, but Yawi will disengage for now. No Wild Charge, no Astral Echo. Eheskiel poking him down still. But EVOS Glory have used quite a bit of resources themselves.
And this is the issue. When they're trying to go for this, they did get the pick off on the one member that can be vulnerable, Aran, who's reliant on that eye for an eye. But even then, they won that and they are forced to go back. Team Liquid are the ones still initiating, trying to force them into fights right here as the diversion comes through.
The reset not happening. The barrier is misplaced just a bit, and EVOS Glory pull a trigger while charge into the back line now, but Gugun not able to find it. Clockgun secures it for EVOS Glory, but look at the re-engage coming in from the side of Liquid Aura. The cavalry charges into enemy lines, but EVOS Glory disperse quick enough.
They find no one. They charge and they find no one. And Clockgun time and time again, the Lord Master. What the heck? 2 objectives taken in by this person, this man, this Luo Yi, this Jimat, the lucky charm of EVOS Glory.
He's been able to secure 2 neutral objectives right here. I mean, you know, you can be superstitious, but Clockgun is winning it out for his team, especially right there. He's showing again that when it comes down to a full-on fight, when Team Liquid can't really stall and stop EVOS from going immediately to try and secure that Lord, they're going to be forced to just dive in and make a lot more risky plays. So if EVOS are the ones in control, it's a whole different story, and so diversion comes in.
Furious dive and the Petrify connecting to. Final blow of the Petrify now onto Fluffy as he has the immortality now. As in the midst of it all, the damage comes through and Kabuki is able to melt Dreams down. Looking for more. Brands caught by the barrier. Gugun running Clockgun down as he flickers out to safety. A messy team fight. Brands was caught off position.
That was a integral part of their gameplay for EVOS, right? This diversion, they go for the sandwich maneuver, but Team Liquid completely turn it around. Dreams and Brands, the two main anchors of EVOS, are out of the way, and it looks like Yaskiel wants to look for more.
Three-man Astral Echo. Yawi zoning. Oh, the fadeaway damage almost taking Fluffy out. Kabuki doing work on that base turret in the mid lane. Diversion. Oh, just to scout around. And Annabelle buys the Winter Truncheon.
Why didn't that team fight work out? Why didn't that sandwich play work out for EVOS?
I think it's because they didn't really put a lot of emphasis to shutting down Kabuki. They were going in for the segment of Team Liquid that was cut off from their base and the turret, but further down, further closer to the base of Team Liquid, Kabuki was absolutely free hitting. Despite all the spells available, all these big ultimates that EVOS have at their disposal, Kabuki did not even use the Purify. That was how free he was, and he was free hitting completely. And on the other hand, the second person who fell from EVOS was Brands, so without that damage output, they can't do much as Annabelle gets jumped on.
Taking slow. Oh, Yowie! Wild charge to the back as the actual Echo was there, but the Furious dive in. The Petrify will be used up. Kabuki with the Purify still able to escape now. An implosion onto Yowie and Gogan, only the frontliners. Kabuki still free hitting. And now another layer of damage comes through. It's a conceal from Liquid. These charges.
2-0 trade, and look at that damage output from Kabuki. 12,000.
Wow.
He was so free in the back line. We could even see Fluffy going for an attempt to shut him down, but with all those items ramping up for Kabuki already, as well as the Wind of Nature, there's just so much maneuverability that Kabuki can utilize to dodge out the damage, and that's a free Lord for Team Liquid.
I don't even think Kabuki was trying to dodge out of damage. He just held his ground and went to try and duel Fluffy with a Wind of Nature. With the fact that Fluffy has no blade armor, he's forced to go with the Immortal and with a Quiet armor because he was getting chunked down by a Heskill a bit too much. So he just immediately gets shredded down. And just like that, after taking out the Black Dragon, Kabuki just kept moving forward without any real threat right now. The fact that EVOS are having a bit of a front to back is really coming to bite them in the back. Because Roger is trying to compete in damage output against a carry, and at 18 minutes, it's just a whole different story.
The Twilight armor by Fluffy. Really respecting that poke damage, man. He's been chunked so many times before the team fight even begins, especially in the siege. I think that'll play a big part of how he can try to look for a defense with EVOS.
And even for Annabelle, he has a Winter Truncheon if I'm not seeing this wrong.
Yeah, he does.
So he's just trying to go for excellent survivability.
Look at his play. Looking very low. Dreams conceal, but the Lord comes into the mid lane. Liquid will not be able to find more. Here with the Lord push. Diversion though. EVOS Glory want to look for more. Gogun gonna be caught off position, but it's only just by Brands and Dreams. Yowie, wild charge, good dodge by Brands. Oh, what on? Three-man Petrify. No real combo to follow it up just yet. And they look for the slow damage to Dreams. In the front first, as the four-man Astral Echo was connected by Heskill, shooting down Brands and just playing with that poke.
Oh, wow. I mean, that re-engage coming in from EVOS, that segmentation was nearly great, but Team Liquid were able to recollect themselves.
By the way, from Yowie, are very lethal as, it was a